Are you excited for Thor? Have you seen the new pictures? Well, we've got some news for you. If you're a Thor lover, then you'll want to know about all the Christian Bale footage and all the other latest updates when it comes to Thor. Now, grab a seat and relax. Let's start with the trailer. Since Thor: Love and Thunder is coming out soon, the Marvel team has been really ramping up promotion. When the second trailer dropped, we saw new footage of the very large cast that is in the new Thor movie. We saw Russell Crowe as Zeus, Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, and Christian Bale as Gorr the God Butcher. Fans were speculating that we wouldn't see Gorr in the trailers because we didn't see him in the first one. They thought that he would be left as a surprise to fans, so then they could be excited for when he does appear in the movie. However, that didn't happen with the latest trailer because we ended up seeing Gorr several times throughout it. Now that people have had a look at him, people are saying that he is this summer's most anticipated antagonist. Also, fans have taken this opportunity to try and see how his movie appearance and comic book persona match up. Well, it seems like it's going well, but I think we might need to dive deeper into it. What do you think about the new trailer? Did you like it? Anyways, let's talk about Gorr the God Butcher in 4K. Since the trailer has been released for Thor: Love and Thunder, we also got a look at some new 4K photos as well. These photos are the best because now people can really see everything they need to about the new antagonist. Similar to the comics, it looks like Gorr's weapon will be an all-black necro sword. However, did you know that the all-black was the first symbiote? That's a little bit of fun knowledge for you there. Well, in the trailer, Gorr is using the necro sword in his white and black space, which also gave viewers a chance to see how he moves and how his cape flows in the wind. You know, because the thought of the cape flowing is always great. We can also tell that the color palette for Bale's Gorr is the same as the comics, which is perfect. However, it's important that we also point out that the MCU's Gorr is more humanoid in his appearance. Also, the studio is making everything look pretty similar with the white robe and his pale skin. In the trailers, we haven't seen a lot about his black tendrils, but it looks like that they haven't forgotten because it can be found on his Funko Pop. Well, it looks like that he's looking pretty similar to the comic version. Did you see how they're pretty similar? Do you think it's a good idea that the character is similar? Well, maybe you should think about why Gorr the God Butcher should look different. If we think about Thor and Thor: The Dark World, the villains weren't exactly on the same level as Thor except for Loki. In fact, it seemed like Thor was more of an obstacle to himself than to anyone else. However, that all changed in Ragnarok because he was up against Hela, who was his sister. Except the movie was, again, focused on Thor and his own personal troubles, which is why it is interesting to see Love and Thunder because it doesn't seem like that will be the case here. If you look closer at the photos and the comics, then you can see that the design of Gorr is slightly different, but it has still captured the essence of the character. Also, having Bale still keep his human form while in character actually helps with two things. One, it hits differently when there is a human villain. Thor has fought a large range of monsters from elves to aliens and more. However, when you fight something that looks human, then it will make for a better storyline. Also, since they have made his character very monochromatic, then this will be a stark contrast against Thor's colorful character. These color palettes will surely make a difference when it comes to the movie. Second, Marvel has forked out big bucks to hire Christian Bale for this movie, so they want people to see that it's him. I mean, wouldn't you want everyone to know if you hired a big name for your movie? It will help pull in a bigger audience. What do you think? Do you think it's a good thing that Gorr is slightly different compared to the comics? Would you like it if they covered up Christian Bale a little bit more? Well, we're going to have to keep watching to find out more about what's happening with the new Thor movie. Also, let's see what critics have had to say. We all know that the past films in MCU have been struggling to get some real emotions from viewers. However, it doesn't need to be this way for Thor: Love and Thunder. Many critics have been comparing it to Ragnarok because it did a good job with melting humor and heartfelt emotions together. One critic, Jacob Kleinman, said that Love and Thunder doesn't match Ragnarok when it comes to its visuals or the comedy aspect. However, there are still some stunning visual sequences. Another critic, Daniel Baptista, said in his podcast that the new Thor movie can't reach the same height that Ragnarok left behind. He believes that this new movie is missing on the story part. However, he did also say that Christian Bale stole every scene that he was in, which means that he wanted more Bale throughout the movie. Then you have Andrew J. Salazar, who said that Love and Thunder may have done a better job if the movie wasn't attempt trying to be like Ragnarok. He said that the humor didn't really land throughout the movie, but it was not Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, or Christian Bale's fault. They did the best that they could with what was given to them, but hey, I'm sure most actors do. Next is Eric Goldman, who said that it isn't as great as Ragnarok, but it apparently came very close. Finally, something a little bit more positive. He also said that there are some parts of the movie that actually outshined its predecessor. Also, he did say that Taika Waititi has been doing a great job with the movies. The next critic is Joey Magidson, who said that Taika Waititi apparently knows how to make Thor a blast. They said that this movie doesn't have the same kind of surprise that Ragnarok does, but Waititi did a good job trying to mix both heart and humor into the movie. This made for a good time when people are watching the movie. A lot of critics are kind of bashing the movie, right? What do these reviews leave you thinking? Well, let's talk about the positive reviews. Lyra Hale came out and praised the movie by saying that she hadn't laughed that hard since Ragnarok. She continued to say that it is one of the greatest Marvel movies she has ever watched, and that it made her reinvest into the franchise altogether. Also, she said that we're going to need tissues when it comes to the journey, so I'm not fully prepared for that. Then you have Scott Mance, who said that this movie is actually better than Ragnarok. He said that this is probably one of the best movies from the MCU. Also, he complimented the actors by saying how cool Hemsworth and Portman are in the movies, which is good because we're sure that they worked very hard on making the movie. What do these positive reviews do for you? Do they give you hope for the new movie? Now, what do these reviews mean? Since there is a large mix of negative and positive reviews, we can say that it is definitely going to be up to you. If we really think about what the critics were saying, then we know that Love and Thunder gives us more of what made Ragnarok so great, but it may also miss on the story side a bit. However, one of the biggest problems with this movie, according to critics, is that it is trying too hard to be like its predecessor. Many critics pointed out that Waititi did an amazing job with Ragnarok, so it was going to be challenging to try and do that a second time with the sequel. However, if there is anyone who is up for the challenge, it's him. To be honest, all of the reviews together basically tells us that the movie is still going to be good. You just need to think about whether it is as good as Ragnarok. However, that is going to be down to your own opinion. Also, we're not too sure if there is going to be another Thor movie after this, but Chris Hemsworth is down for more movies in the future. I guess we just need to wait and see if Waititi is up for it as well. Anyways, that's all we have for you today. Are you excited about the new Thor movie? Are you going to be comparing it to Ragnarok, or will you just watch it and see how it goes? Let us know down below.